Well, hi everyone, Sean Humphreys here. Welcome to Take Charge of Change. Now, this video presentation has been prepared specifically for organizational leaders who lead teams. So if you have people reporting to you, you could be a sales manager, a senior manager, you could be CEO leading an executive group. That's who this presentation has been prepared for. And so we recognize at Take Charge of Change that time is precious. Often we're very busy. And the kind of training I'm going to talk about is sometimes the training that gets a little bit of short shrift. When we look at technical training, specific hard skills, but the whole notion of resiliency training, sometimes it's a nice to do, but it doesn't always get the attention that it deserves. And so what we've done is we've put together turnkey programs that can be customized for organizations to really deliver resiliency training, and I'm going to unpack what I mean by resiliency training in just a few minutes. We're going to talk about the critical issues facing organizations that put them off base, that derail them from getting the goals accomplished they want to accomplish, and then we're going to talk about our training protocols. I think this image is a great image. You've got this flower kind of pushing up through the concrete or the asphalt and flourishing in spite of the challenges that it's facing. And so that's what resiliency training is about, is helping your key people, your staff, to flourish in the work environment in spite of unprecedented challenges that they face in almost every area, both professionally as well as personally. So let's talk about some of those challenges. So the first thing is, if goal achievement, going from, the left part of this graph to the right part, which is the intended destination, we'd all love it to be a linear process, but it's not. Things are challenging. I think the world naturally degrades to, entropy, degradation, or chaos. So we're always trying to fight the challenge of chaos, pull the weeds, keep things moving in the right direction. And there's probably more distractions than there have ever been. And so, again, the training that we talk about with individuals and organizations is to try to help people in an age of distraction to be focused and to be vigilant and to continue to be moving in the direction of their goals, both personally and organizationally, in spite of the challenges that are out there. Now, this graphic really illustrates another key challenge. We have staff, an aging demographic in many of our organizations. So the red line is essentially energy capacity. And for the purpose of the illustration, let's say it peaks around age 35, 40, and then it starts declining over time. One of the ironies is that the demands on us professionally, and also when we're at our best, we're in a professional sweet spot through experience and knowledge levels, that begins to peak at a time when our energy often begins to decline. So professional resiliency training is designed to push out that energy capacity period. You don't want your key people flaming out at the very time that they reach that productive sweet spot. And so there's just too many stories of people, because of health issues and breakdown, have to leave organizations. That just doesn't have to happen. And through resiliency training, we can extend the productive capacity of those senior people that can add so much value to the organization. So it's a really key point to make. Now, what are some of the challenges? The microchip is one of the biggest one. Gordon Moore was one of the developers of the chip, theorized that every 18 months the computing capability of the chip would double, and that's happened. And so it's had a profound impact on politics, economics, work life, AI, and other technologies impacting work. Even social life, our families, everything's being impacted. So digital technology is pervasive and is exponentially growing in terms of its impact in the work life and in our professional lives. So this is the result. Metaphorically, people feel like they're in overwhelm. And so a lot of people haven't gotten the training and the necessary skills to deal effectively with the avalanche of information. There are training protocols to deal with that. So part of resiliency training is to help your people deal with all this volume of noise and information and continue to be organized and focused through it all to get things done. The other thing that's happened is that we are in a state of arousal. Adrenaline's running all the time. And when I say arousal, I mean anxiety. So what the media establishment knows is that if they hit us with negative information, information that catches our attention, which is usually bad news, they'll do that as a way of getting clicks and to get us to view. And so this brain image has, the amygdala highlighted. And the amygdala is part of the brain that attunes us to danger, running from the lion or fighting the lion. And we're constantly consuming information all the time that has that negative slant. And so that we're in low grade sort of adrenaline activation. And that actually shuts down our ability to fully access our prefrontal cortex, our cognitive abilities, our creative imagination. It's a really important area in the workplace to help your staff to deal with stress management effectively, because that is part of resiliency training. That's part of being a professional to deal with those issues effectively, so it doesn't derail you both from a capacity standpoint in terms of cognitive ability, but also a physical standpoint. So it's really, really important. And of course, the changes going on for our staff have an impact on relationships. So we know that if relationships aren't working at home, it's going to have a negative impact on the work context and vice versa. Professional resiliency training is about helping people enhance their relational IQ. It's a critical piece, and probably one of the most important components to professional resiliency are the quality of their relationships and communication skills. And as people are overwhelmed, they degrade to bad habits, and those bad habits, whether it's in health or poor relationships, have a negative impact. And then financially, the change around us creates anxiety around personal finances. And so whether people say it or not, there's a generalized worry and concern, because the average person doesn't have a plan. They don't have strategies. They don't know really where they really are standing financially, and what specific things they need to be doing to be on a solid financial footing. So resiliency training is a part of it, is part of that financial coaching that needs to be there for your key teams. And then ultimately, you don't want this. You want full engagement. You don't want people sort of disengaged. This is obviously an extreme example. So enhancing performance, these are sort of our key points. It's a game of inches. It's not a one-shot thing. It needs to be done on a regular basis. Resilience training needs to be a whole person model. It should follow an adult learning structure, and it should include coaching and accountability process. And it's really important that the coaching and resiliency training be linked to the organizational objectives. So we can take the person's individual mission and purpose and meaning in life, and if they can link that their work is an extension of work, living out that meaning, that's a really powerful 1-2 punch for organizations. So here's our model: productivity for the organization and the individual. And it's important for both. If you're productive at work as an individual, you're going to have more time to do the things outside the work context you'd like to do, and you'll make greater progress in your career. And for the organization, obviously, productivity is critical. So we talk about health and energy systems. We talk about how creativity can be enhanced and to enhance focusing and concentration. We take a look at emotional intelligence and relational intelligence. We unpack in a lot of detail aligning purpose and goals and values and missions, both at a personal level but also at the organizational level. And of course, financial coaching and finances as a critical piece to that productivity equation. We've pulled together a great faculty. We've got experts in the area of mindfulness, naturopathic medicine, holistic nutrition, occupational therapy. You name it, we have an expert that can speak to the issues, and they collaborate to help us pull together content, to curate content, and to help us deliver programs to our clients. The bottom line is return on investment. So I've worked for years in the wealth planning industry. This is a passion of mine, this whole notion of professional resilience. In our own branch, we've got 30 advisors. We've got over 100 people in the branch. We understand the importance of return on investment. And there's a clear argument that this kind of training will provide a return. And you can measure it very easily through absenteeism. It could be health claims, it could be staff retention. How's that tracking in your organization? And of course, productivity. Is it declining? Is it gaining? And what about engagement? There's different ways you can measure engagement with an organization, and that all filters into that cost zone. So clearly there's an argument that this kind of training can really improve each of these areas. Lots of studies have been done. The studies range in terms of the return for every dollar invested, anywhere from $1.49 to $13 for every dollar investment. Obviously, that's a function of the industry and the degree of professional expertise of the people going through the training. But clearly, there is lots of evidence that this training has value for organizations in terms of payback. Now, our training options, we have 3 major models. The first model is symposium experience, great value. It's a wonderful model if you want to get a message out to as many people as possible in your organization. So we theme the symposiums. Usually there'll be a theme. An example could be, let's say it's productivity in the workplace. And then we'll have each of our experts deliver a 15 to 20 minute presentation, much like TED Talks if you're familiar with that. That will be practical, it'll be informative, it'll be entertaining, so that the person listening to it can walk away with 1 or 2 ideas that they can apply from the perspective of that expert. They'll be there through the day to answer questions. It's a really good value add in terms of organizations trying to get a particular theme spoken to. Now, sometimes organizations will want multiple themes, so they'll really embrace the resilient professional models. They might have one speaker talking about health and wellness, another speaker talking about creativity, another speaker talking about relationships. But again, the symposium model can be customized to whatever theme you'd like to take a look at. Focus workshops are exactly what they imply. It's a workshop setting, might be a half day, full day, multi-day, where you just unpack one area through pre-work before the workshop, going through the workshop experience, the training, the education, the group discussions, and then post-workshop exercises as well to really inculcate the information. And then we've got group coaching. Our group coaching program is called the Resiliency Lab. Ideal for your top leadership teams. So this is where we actually take those key people in your organization through a one-year transformation process. Every 3 months, we'll tackle one aspect of professional resilience. So as an example, we might attack the physical resilience and health area. We'll bring in guest speakers through that quarter. We'll go through exercises and accountability mechanisms. It's kept confidential, so it's group coaching. But we're not asking people in the workshop to share personal experiences. That can be done through the interactive coaching that's done after the workshop through the different mechanisms that we use for that. Very, very powerful model. So you're trying to transform your key leadership team and really work on that professional resilience to help them with their personal productivity and their professional productivity. Is a great, great program. This is our professional resilience dashboard. You can see we've got the mental, physical, emotional, financial, and then the application piece. So under mental, we've got aspects of developing mission statements. We've got the whole area of focusing, fighting distraction, creativity, and then confirming the gifting unique ability equation, which is a really important part of the mental aspect. The physical part, obviously things like nutrition, exercise, stress reduction, renewal, really engaging in the concept of oscillation, being on when you need to be on, but then really relaxing and resting when you need to relax and rest. Emotional, internal states, external states of mind, relationships, coaching, ongoing mentorship is key to the emotional piece. Financial, building wealth, protecting wealth, risk management strategy, retirement income planning, and then opportunity planning. Where are the gaps for the individual? And the application is assessing current reality, identifying the gaps, introducing what are called change principles in our resiliency model, and then ongoing coaching to make sure people achieve their goals. Well, I hope you enjoyed the presentation. It's a bit of a fast overview, but we provide coaching through symposiums, mentorship groups, customized workshops, keynotes, lunch and learns, and digital products. If you want more information, reach out to us at 204-791-4788. You can visit our website at takechargeofchange.com. So all the best as you pursue your organizational objectives, and if you'd like to start a conversation about how our training can help enhance professional resilience for your organization, we welcome that conversation. You take care. Be resilient.